All right, guys, welcome to the hot seat. I am CJ, your host of this wonderful evening extravaganza of good talk, good chat, good friends, and slushy drinks. So, cheers, everybody. Tonight we're welcoming brother. Salute, brother. Tonight we're welcoming brother James from Amy McClain Smokers. But before we get started on James, we're going to be talking to our co-host with the most, Kent from Daddy Dutch BBQ. Everybody say hi. And then Kris, Hobo Nichol BBQ, is on the blue ink with the moderator, so he's keeping all the dirty bastard stuff. And that's it. Kent, real quick, give me the shouts out. Give me shout outs from the chat. I can't see it from where I'm at right now. So who's all right.
What we got in the chat right now, we have JP BBQ, Hobo Nichol that you mentioned, Leprechaun BBQ, Meathead is here, Keith Bettag is here, Eric Roundhouse Ranch BBQ, Christie's Cooking Channel, Texas Style Barbecue and Cuisine, 1984 BBQ, don't know if I said them, Easy Bake BBQ, Barbecue Pit Dog, Nigel, Pickles BBQ, Kirby, and I probably missed somebody, but that's all the farther I'm scrolling up. So good start to the day. And Suburban BBQ just jumped on. And speaking of good starts to the day, I know everybody wants to say this out there, CJ. Hey, buddy, congrats on 1K. Way to go.
That's right. Congrats.
Hey, brother. Appreciate it very much.
Moving on up.
Yeah, right.
To the east side.
I was actually gonna do a little live stream before this one, and thank everybody, but I didn't want to take away from Marion's live stream, and I know a lot of people over there. So I appreciate it, guys. I couldn't do it without y'all. You guys have been huge supporters of mine, and that's it. I'm humbled. I can't wait for the next 1,000, the next 1,000 after that, and so on and so forth. I'm not going anywhere. I want to make this as big as possible, and I'm having a great time doing it. So let's get on with the show. All right, guys. All right, so
let's do it.
I can't see the chat very well. I got it on my phone, but I don't want to look away too much. So, Kent, you're flagging me down. What's up, brother?
Yeah. If you guys have a question, put it in all caps on the chat. I will get it on my other iPad because that's where I'm watching the chat. And just so you know that Stone Mountain Barbecue, Bottle Cap Barbecue, and Marion all just jumped on also. So quite the crew.
Right on. All right, James. Again, man, thank you for coming on. I'm excited that you're here. I've been a big fan. You're doing so much good stuff over there. It's your barbecue skills are just outstanding. I've learned a lot. I'm sure everybody in the chat's learned a lot. So it's just freaking awesome, man. So let's get started with the nitty gritty and the normal fun questions. Let's start off with, where are you from, Big James?
I am currently I live in Kyle, Texas, but I'm actually born and raised in Austin, Texas. Kyle is about 5 to 10 minutes just south of Austin. It's just cheaper to live out here. But born and raised in Austin, Texas, I still consider that my city. So normally when people ask, I'll say Kyle, I'll say Austin, but technically I live in Kyle for the last 17 years maybe.
Right.
Yeah, but I work and do everything in Austin. So
very cool.
That's where I'm from.
So family life, you got a spouse, kids, dogs.
It's actually my wife and I, and that's it. We have a golden retriever, a dog, a fur baby, as we like to call them. Nice. And we're actually in a few weeks we'll be celebrating our 19th wedding anniversary.
Wow! Well, sure.
For 19 years, so.
Good stuff.
Yeah, so it's again, just my wife and I and our dog living our life, doing our thing. So
now, what Kris used to do is ask if the wife wants to come on and say hi.
She's actually not here. She went to the store. So like I was mentioned earlier that I'm packing up for a cook-off this weekend.
Right.
And it's hot as hell here. And I have a fan and a generator, you know, that I take with me to my cook-offs, but I wanted to buy another fan so, you know, I can have like wind coming from different directions. So she's actually out buying another fan for me right now.
That's the
So
love.
so she's not here.
Very cool.
So actually she might be walking in.
Well, if she comes in, she's more than welcome to jump on and say hi.
I heard her anyway.
What is your real job besides barbecue, YouTube, whatever?
So I'm a sample coordinator. I work for Balfour. We are a class ring company. You know, we make high school rings, college rings, championship rings, like World Series, Super Bowls, stuff like that. And I deal with our outsource partners or overseas vendors. I'm the middleman between our marketing department and our overseas vendors. So, you know, I sit in the cubicle all day behind a computer screen for the day job. So,
yeah, I feel your pain. I do the same thing.
Yeah.
But at least it's not hot outside. You know what I mean? Like, we don't.
Exactly.
Who taught you how to cook, brother?
You know, quite honestly, I like to consider myself self-taught. You know, growing up, my mother, you know, obviously taught us. She always taught us to never depend on a woman. So, you know, she taught us how to cook. So, I mean, I guess I could say her, but there was like a long period where she wasn't in the picture, and so a lot of the stuff, you know, kind of just learned on my own, and quite honestly, a lot of what I've learned now is, you know, I started out just going on YouTube, looking up stuff. If I wanted to learn how to do something, I would go on YouTube and you know, kind of watch different videos and take pieces from here and there, and then take what I remembered growing up and, you know, kind of incorporating that. So I really like to consider myself self-taught, but you know, there is some influence there from my mother and actually from my grandmother. Actually growing up and you know, being raised by our grandparents, there was a lot of influence there. But you know, when it comes to like the barbecue stuff and what I do now on my channel, that pretty much is self-taught.
Right on. Very cool. So who inspired you to get into competition cooking? Like, you had to you taught yourself, I get all that, but what made you decide to, you know, try to get the gold prize, you know?
Well, I have a buddy of mine who will actually be cooking together this weekend, tomorrow. He had been competing for a couple of years, and he would invite me to the cook-offs, and I would go and hang out, and I just thought like it was a really awesome experience, you know, just hanging out and just kind of seeing how everything goes down. Like, I was really intrigued, and so he had been, I think it was like the beginning of 2014, he had been trying to get me to enter competitions, and I wouldn't do it. I wanted to take some time and like practice. And finally, January of 2015, you know, he was doing a cook-off, and I said, hey, you know, let me join you and just kind of get my feet wet, see what this thing is like. So he was like, sure, come on. Well, at the last minute, he's like, oh no, you're on your own. And I'm like, holy fuck. Like, I didn't know how to put my meat in the box. You know, I was literally, excuse me. I was literally at the competition, and we're boxing meat, and I'm like looking at the other guys around me, like, you know, trying to see how do I put my brisket in the box? How do I put my chicken, my ribs in the box? I had no freaking clue. And well,
you learn by doing, right?
Yeah, so it's like taking your kid and throwing them in the pool to teach him to swim. That's kind of what it was like. But I tell you what, man, when I walked that first box up, man, it was like crack. I was hooked from that very first walk in, or turn in. Excuse me, I was hooked. So he's the one that, you know, had kind of been pushing me to get into it, to try it out, and you know, if it wasn't for him, you know, I really don't know if I would have actually entered, you know, so.
Very cool. So yeah. I'm assuming you're an old ball player like Kid and myself. You know, used to probably O-lineman, right?
Oh, dude. Tight end, defensive lineman, deep snapper, kicked extra points, and kicked off.
There you go. There you go.
Everything except kickoff return.
So tell me, so you know what it's like to get up for the game, get fired up, get someone to smack you around, whatever. Is the competition cooking? Do you still is it comparable? Like, do you get the butterflies of getting ready to hit somebody or turning in a plate?
Yeah, especially when I walk around. Usually, when I get to cook off, I'll walk around and kind of see who's there. When I see who's there, and there's big wigs, a lot of the cook-offs that I do, there are people there that have been on barbecue pitmasters. I mean, they're like the best in the state, those are the comps that I like to compete in. And so when I walk around and when I see those people there on Fridays, usually Saturday is, I'm kind of nervous, and I'm like, but it really pumps me up, and I'm like, you know what? I got just as good a chance as anybody else, and it's on.
Right.
Like, it's wartime. It's just that mindset that you have to have. I never go in thinking like being scared or feeling like I don't have a chance. Even any given Saturday.
Right.
And many times, I've come out on top against a lot of these guys, and so yeah. But I do have to I'll see them, and sometimes they'll be like right across from me or right next to me, and I'm looking over there. I'm like, it's on, mofo. Yeah.
You're talking that quarterback. I'm gonna put you on your ass. No. That's
yeah.
So back on the whole competitions thing. What's your most memorable win in competition?
You know what? It would probably have to be the Austin Rodeo. I've actually got you can't see it. I got a plaque up here over my shoulder. I got 6th place in brisket, and at that event, it's just really tough to compete in, and to get a 6th place finish in brisket. I think, for me, was just, man, that was like really memorable. And that was just something I was extremely proud of, even over there was competitions where I've come in like 2nd and 3rd and 1st place in some categories. But that particular event, Austin Rodeo, you have in Texas, the big events are the Houston Rodeo, San Antonio Rodeo, and Austin Rodeo. So to finish that high at an event like that was just, man, it was really, really awesome.
Very cool. Very cool. All right. Before we turn you over to Kit, I think I saw Mega Fred in there, and it's been drilled in my head that Mega Fred gets his question early. So, what is your favorite music? Your bands? What do you listen to? What do you rock out when you're driving?
So this might actually surprise some of you, but most of what I listen to, probably 90% of the time, is Christian music.
All right.
Yeah.
Very uplifting. I like it.
Yeah. Outside of that, it's I'm a big 80s dude. I freaking love the 80s. So anything from the 80s, whether it's country, rock, R&B, whatever, anything from the 80s would probably be second. And then I love me some country music. So from all ranges, from like the 70s on up. I mean, I just love me some country. But actually, Christian music is probably what I listen to literally like 90% of the time.
Right on.
So, yeah.
That's cool, man. Hey, it gets you where you. I used to love the Christian music when I'd go to church, back in the day a little bit, and it was more of a younger, more progressive church, and they played a lot of good, uplifting and get you in your chest a little bit.
I want to know if you want to say hi. Hold on, CJ.
Okay.
They want to know if you want to say hi. My wife just got here. You were asking me if she wanted to come on and say hi.
Introduce her. Bring her on.
She's not much on being on camera. If you ever seen in my videos, you don't see her.
Yeah, I know.
Except her hands. She's not much on being on videos. So she just changed her nightgown. So she's kind of not dressed for camera, if you will.
I understand.
But she says hi.
All right.
She says hi.
Tell her we all said everybody in the chat, make sure you say hi. All right. So, okay, Kent, jump on there. I know you got a handful of questions for James. Make it happen.
Yes, I do. First off, Nigel says, do you do voiceovers at all? Because your voice is just awesome. So
no, I actually get that a lot, but I do not. I've gotten like for many years that I should be in radio, but no, I do not do voiceovers. Now, if someone wants me to do a voiceover, contact me. We'll work it out. But no, I don't. No, I don't.
All right. Bottle Cap Barbecue asked what got you started into barbecuing and stuff, but I think CJ covered that. But he also wanted you to sit up just a little taller if you could. Because for some reason...
Oh, he don't want to see that. I know. I already know. I already know. You know what? I want to slump down. And not only am I going to slump down, but I want to do it right there. Yeah, I saw his comment earlier.
All right.
That's my wife is from Arizona, so I got to represent.
There you go, buddy.
Yeah.
Roundhouse Ranch Barbecue. Eric wants to know if he shows up at a comp with a couple Weber kettles, are people going to make fun of him and laugh at him?
Not at all. In fact, there's one lady who will show up at a comp, and that's all she cooks on, Weber kettles. And let me tell you what, she kicks ass. It is not. I will put Weber kettle, Weber Smoky Mountain, one of those like a pit burl, one of those the smaller, cheaper, excuse me, smokers up against a $10, $20, $30,000 rig any day. It's not the rig, it's the cooker. If you know how to run your pit, whether it's a $30,000 rig or Weber kettle, if you know how to run it, how to run a consistent temp, and you have a good recipe, you can put out great barbecue. So there are actually a lot of people who actually do use Weber kettles, and so no one, if you showed up, with some of those, no one's laughing at you. It happens often. I use it sometimes for my ribs.
Well said. I couldn't agree more. Could not agree more. So, Pickles Barbecue wants to know your favorite all-purpose rub and sauce.
All-purpose sauce. I think I have some. I might have just packaged it up for my comp. But anyway, for sauce, it's Head Country, and they have a few different flavors. They have a hickory smoke that's really good, and they have an apple habanero that's really, really, really good. Those two I like. You know what? I'm actually for sauce. Let me retract that. I'm gonna go with You Want It from El Rabbit's Barbecue, which is a phenomenal sauce. I really, really love that sauce. And Coakley has a great sauce. There's three. Those two and Tim Bucks. I actually have a bottle over here of the Tim Bucks. Those three sauces, I feel comfortable using those on any of my meats, and I will use them often. When it comes to a rub, if I'm looking for an all-purpose rub, one that I would use on like any meat, if I was only using one rub, I really like my SPG mix. I think that's great on beef, pork, ribs. One that we use here in the house, like literally on everything, and you guys see me talk about this, it's incredible. In fact, one of the guys I cook with just called me earlier today, and he was using this on some chicken, and he was like, dude, that is freaking phenomenal. So outside of my SPG mix, that it's incredible will probably be the one rub that if I was only using one, that I will feel comfortable using on beef, pork, chicken, fish, veggies, sides, anything. That is great on everything.
Okay, cool. Hobo wants to know, how did you get your Tito's sponsorship?
You know, that's funny. So they had been sponsoring a few other teams, and one team in particular at comps would constantly get like wasted. I mean, and you'd find them like passed out on the floor somewhere. So they just were really giving Tito's a bad name, and so they stopped sponsoring them. And then the buddy they actually got me into cooking that I was talking about earlier, and who I'll be meeting up with tomorrow, he actually called me up and was like, "Hey, they're looking for someone to sponsor. Are you interested?" And just like out of the blue, and I said, "Hell yeah!" And from then it's they've been a sponsor, and I think it's been probably about 2.5, 3 years now. So
Awesome.
I didn't like go out and seek them. I just the guy from Tito's is really good friends with my buddy that got me into cooking, and so he suggested me, and that's just how I got lucky, basically. Yeah, quite
Nothing
honestly.
wrong with that.
Yeah.
So, all right. I did not catch who asked this question, but it had to do back with the music question. They wanted to know if you like Justin Bieber like CJ does.
I like Justin Timberlake, not Bieber.
Don't kill the messenger.
Come on, you people in the chat, get it right. Timberlake, not Bieber. Come on.
No, I don't like Bieber, but I will agree with him on Timberlake.
There you go.
All right, that's all I have for right now. There, CJ, other than a few other people that jumped in the chat. You mentioned Mr. Mega Fred Zeppelin already. Booger is here. Cooking with Webby.
Hey, Booger. Hey, Dan.
And Food for Men. And BK Perry also stopped in. And then I just saw Red's Barbecue and Pizzeria. Poked his head.
Red,
what's up, brother Red?
You sexy beast. And I saw Meathead's on too. What's up, Meathead? Me and Red have this little love affair going from across the country. It's my long distance relationship right there. All right, let's get back to the question. Sorry about that. All right. So how did you get started on YouTube? Like, what made you decide to set your own channel
up? So I wanted to when I was wanting to cook something, I would go on like YouTube and look up recipes and stuff, or on the internet and look up recipes. And they always I kept running across recipes that had 8, 10 different ingredients, and a lot of them were stuff that I would probably never use except if I was making that particular dish. So, I was buying stuff that I would only use one time, and that's it. So I was wasting money on stuff. And I just felt like I know that there's a way to cook good food and use minimal ingredients, but still turn out a great product. And I wanted to show that. And that's kind of what got me into doing the videos. Now, if you look at my early videos, they're horrible. I don't even like to look at
Everybody's is. Come on.
Yeah, but that's actually how I got started. Like, I just wanted to show that you can cook really good food and use minimal ingredients. You didn't have to buy all these ingredients that you can't even name half the time. So that's kind of what got me into YouTube.
Right on. How long have you been going at it?
I think when I looked at my last video, my very first video, I think there was one from like 2013. But there was a point where so I uploaded a video, and for like the next couple of years, there was maybe just a couple in there. I didn't really start getting into it until the last 2 years. Where I was like regularly putting up content. Maybe a little over 2 years. It's probably about the middle of 2015 is when I really started, putting up content regularly. So good. What's that? 2.5, 3 years maybe.
Right. All right, good. You're doing real well, man. You're growing. You getting them five figure subs. Yeah. Someday we all want to be like you.
And someday I want to be like other people.
Yeah, exactly. Real quick, I caught a little of the chat. Lyle from No Hippie Barbecues here. Brother Lyle, how you doing, man?
Lyle.
Glad to see
still
you
awake?
Late on a school night.
Yeah, it's not past Lyle's bedtime yet.
All right. So Christy's Cookie Channel threw a question out to the Facebook group. And what is the craziest comment you ever got on one of your videos?
The craziest comment?
Like troll comment, whatever.
Yeah. You know what? It was actually probably just I think I deleted it today, so it might have. Did it come in today? I think it was today. In fact,
really?
Yeah. I kid you not. Somebody left a comment that said, "I fucking hate you. I can't stand you." And I don't even know who this person is. So I went to their chat, or there's always people who have zero content.
Right.
So I don't know who, some generic avatar or whatever pick. And so that would probably be it. And that was just, I think it's probably today or yesterday that comment came through. Yeah. Right. So it sounds like, okay. I don't know.
What are you gonna do?
I don't care. Yeah. So be it.
Yeah, really. What are you gonna do, right? So, as you've grown your channel over the years, I'm sure you started like everybody else with the iPhone or whatever. What is your main filming apparatus, whatever camera right now? Straight up
Still
iPhone.
Right here. Awesome. This is it. iPhone 8.
Giving away all the secrets, man.
I think this is a 7. No, this is this isn't a 6 Plus. 7 Plus. Yeah, an iPhone 7 Plus, and this is all I use. That's it.
That's awesome.
I use iMovie, the app iMovie to edit my videos. I upload it on my phone, and that's it. That's why you don't see a lot of. Or you don't see any like special effects or like music in the background in any of my videos, or like me talking over clips as they're playing. I keep it very simple. I'm very low tech, but it works. I mean, it's gotten me to to where I'm at now. So,
hey,
I mean, I would definitely, I definitely plan on upgrading at some point, but. For right now, like that's all I'm using, All
right, cool. Simple, but it works. All right.
Yeah.
Advice to grow your channel. Obviously, you've been in the game for a little bit, but these younger channels, what's like one piece of advice you can give?
Well, I think it's tough to give one, but so I'm going to give two.
That's fine.
One is going to be to be consistent, and the other is going to be to be yourself. And when I say be consistent, I mean people know I kind of changed my schedule up a little bit here, but normally I've been going Tuesdays and Thursdays, uploading videos, so people know to come to my channel on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Or other people who upload videos, like Troy was doing his Thursday chats. People knew on Thursday, to go view his channel to watch his video. So when people know, or if people don't know when you're going to put something up, they don't know when to tune in. And sometimes they can forget. But if they know, hey, you're doing every Monday or every Wednesday or every Friday or, whatever your day is, if they know that you're regular on those days and they know when to come and watch your channel. And, Be yourself. You know, when I look at my older videos, I was really like not myself. In fact, Phil from Daddy Cooks actually made a comment to, I think it was Loud, and Loud kind of relayed that to me. I think it was Loud, and just kind of made the comment that I was trying too hard, and I wasn't myself. And you know, when I heard that, I was like, you know what, he's absolutely right. And I just started to like just be me, do what I do, and that made my videos get better. I think that helped my channel grow because, you know, someone commented in my last, I think it was my last Sunday chat, that people tune in to watch you and your personality. The food, or if your channel is something else like hunting or whatever it is, that's secondary. People want to know that they can, you know, they can log in and come and watch somebody who's genuine, who's real, who's just like them, and not feel like they're coming into like a classroom setting where this is a how-to, this is how you do something. They want, I think they want people who are just genuine, you know, and I think that doing that really helped me grow my channel. And so that would be what I would say to people, you know, be consistent in your uploads. So, you know, people know when to tune in, and just be you. I mean, I've said that in the past, be you, do what you do, whatever your stick is, or whatever you're comfortable doing, just do you, be you.
For sure. Okay. This is one of my questions that I love to ask. If Hollywood were to make a movie about you and your channel, who's playing you?
Oh, man. Good gosh almighty.
Matthew McConaughey.
Right. Gabriel Iglesias.
Fluffy, dude. I love it.
Yeah.
I will take
Fluffy.
it. I just don't even think anymore. Just Fluffy's fun.
Right.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that would probably be the only person I could think of.
That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
All right. So one last question before I go back to Kent. But what is one of the funniest things that happened while you were filming or cooking, whatever, that we didn't get on the final cut?
Well, it's actually happened multiple times where I'm going to take like I'm shooting the final scene, and I'm taking the taste test, and it just, whether it's like on a spoon or something, and it just all falls off
down the front of you.
Well, yeah, or I have like a taco or something, and right before I'm about to bite into it, it just all falls off. That has actually happened multiple times, and I've always cut it out. And now I'm starting to like just leave stuff in. I'm finding that people kind of get a laugh out of it, but that's one thing that has actually happened multiple times. So I would probably say that.
All right. Yeah, leave that stuff in. People like to see that stuff. It's funny.
Yeah, well, I have. I mean, there's some videos where you see me drop. I've dropped like stuff on the floor, and I've left it in. I'm like, if I get like, just leave it in.
Yeah, sure. It's about being yourself, right? I mean,
exactly.
You're dropping stuff all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Ken, what you got, brother?
All right. Keith Betteg wants to know, James, your favorite rub on a brisket, or is it just salt and pepper? And if it's salt and pepper or your AP rub, he wants to know if you can give him your secret ratio.
Well, I've given the ratio for my SPG. I actually did a video of it, and I'll mention it now. My SPG mix is it's 4 parts salt, kosher salt, 2 parts granulated garlic, and 1 part coarse black pepper. And the parts mean just whatever measurement you're using. If you're using a teaspoon, it's 4 teaspoons of kosher salt, 2 teaspoons of granulated garlic, 1 teaspoon of coarse black pepper. Or if you're making a bunch and you're using a cup, it's 4 cups of salt, 2 cups of granulated garlic, 1 cup of coarse black pepper. So that's I mean, that isn't a secret. I mean, I put that out there multiple times. So that's my ratio for SPG. For brisket, if I'm not using that, man, I have so many rubs that I use that you know what? So I'll show you this here. This isn't it. This here is the Fiesta brand rub, but this is the Uncle Kris's gourmet steak seasoning. However, they actually make a brisket rub, and when I'm doing a cook for friends or family or for an event or something, I'm using most of the times I'm using the Fiesta brisket rub. It is just really, really good. So that would probably be the one rub that I use the most on brisket when I'm cooking for like friends or family, and they love it. It's salty. I'll add some coarse black pepper to it as a second layer, but that would probably be the one that I use the most.
All right. Thank you for that. Both Paul's Q and Cooking with Rob D asked the same question. What is your favorite thing to cook?
It's probably ribs. I mean, I literally make them damn near every weekend. I love cooking ribs. Man, that's a tough one. Well, that's probably what I cook the most. What I really love to cook is pork butt. There's just something about it that not only can you do so much with it, but there's so many different meats and muscles in that pork butt that are just so good. I love cooking me a good pork butt. Ribs is what I cook the most, but out of those two, if I had to pick one to cook, I would probably go with pork butt. I don't know what it is about pork butt. A lot of times it goes to waste. It's just the missus and I, and a lot of times a lot of what I cook goes to waste. But I love cooking pork butt.
Yeah. All right. Couple people showed up. Soul Food Cooking's here, along with Cooking with James. And
hey, James. Jamie.
And the real Joey B showed up.
Joey B, what's up, brother?
There's a couple questions left for you. Lyle asked one, but I'm not going to say that on air. He can ask you that. But Booger wants to know, have you ever been recognized in public from your YouTube videos?
Yes. It's actually starting to happen more often. The video that I uploaded, the last barbecue crawl at Truth Barbecue. So Troy joined me on that one. He and I and Suburban Barbecue, who's probably still on here. We were first in line, and the group that was next in line right behind us actually happened to be people who followed us, Troy and I, and recognized us. So it happened there. One Sunday, my wife and I got out of church, and we were at the grocery store, and doing our grocery shopping, and a guy approaches me and was like, "Hey, I watch your videos. At my last competition, the guy cooking next to me happened to be a subscriber and watched my videos." So yeah, it actually it's actually been happening quite a bit lately, which is really it's just surreal to me, man. When someone comes up to me, it's very flattering. It's a little uncomfortable just because I don't feel like I'm different from it. I'm different from anybody else, And so, but to have people come up to me and "Hey, I recognize you," or "I watch your videos and I've learned from you," it's just really like surreal and a huge honor. But yeah, it's actually been happening. It's actually been happening quite a bit lately.
Well, that's
And
cool.
and Lau, I think I saw the question you were talking about. Do I like midgets? I don't hate midgets. I don't prefer them, but I don't hate midgets. There's nothing wrong with the midget.
Midget like booger. That's
yeah. Oh, was it midget? Oh, was it midget like? I thought he was saying like, do I like midgets like Booger likes midgets?
Oh, booger likes
I
midget.
don't know. Well, that's how I read the question. I could have read it wrong. I don't know.
All right. You good, Kent?
Yeah, I'm good with that. I wasn't going to ask it because my wife's borderline midget too. I'm like 15 inches taller than my wife. So
this is CJ's 42.
So, yep, back on you, CJ.
All right, man. So I saw a couple people jump in while you guys were talking. Green Bastard Styles on. What's up, Green Bastard? Chef Johnny, I see you in there.
Hey, Johnny.
Big Ray's in here, being in the house. Real quick, I would assume most people on the channel are subscribed to James, subscribed to Keith, subscribed to Hobo, and myself. But if you haven't reached out to anybody, the link's down below, or you can click on the chat. Everybody help everybody out and keep it together. Okay. All right.
Yes, you guys, please go and subscribe to not only CJ or Kent, but all the other people in the chat. Show some love. I mean, this community is great, and let's help everybody grow. So if you see someone in the chat that you're not subscribed to, go subscribe to them. Help them out.
Yeah, that's what I love about this community. Everybody's helping out everybody. And Ray Mack, I was on a live stream with him earlier, and he was doing the same thing. Like we're all supporting each other, so that's just amazing. I love this group. It's freaking awesome.
Yeah,
so let's get back to my little canned questions here. One of the questions is, what is your favorite thing to cook? But obviously a couple people in the chat have already grabbed on that one. So, ribs, pork butt, yeah. Is there an actual signature dish that everybody knows you for? Is it your ribs, or is there something else that we don't know about?
I think it is the ribs, but outside of like barbecue, a lot of stuff. I love cooking Mexican food, but I think the ribs is actually like the one thing that people really know me for. That's the one thing I cook the most for people. Justin from Baby Back Maniac and Brother Troy. I get messages from them often about like, hey, I made ribs for my wife, but she hates them. She wants your ribs. Like yeah, like what's your secret? And so that I think ribs is probably like the one thing that I'm actually known for, because I just do it so often, that it's just kind of what I'm known for.
Right on. Real quick, I see Scott from In for the Grill joined us. What's up, Scotty? How you doing, brother? I see Phil and Florence up there. So I think we've got a lot of good shout outs, a lot of people in the chat. I think this is the highest viewed one so far. James, people love you, brother. This is so cool. The bartender, I had never seen that guy in there, so that's good stuff, man.
I'll tell you what, man, I truly appreciate it. I'm nothing without every single one of those people in the chat.
For sure,
support me. I'm nothing without them. So, I owe all of them, a big thank you, and I truly am appreciative of every single one of those people who who follow me, and I can say it. I don't know how much people really understand how much I mean it, but there is no me without you guys, so thank you.
Right on. Well, we're not done yet, man. You're ready to say your goodbyes and
no, not at all. I just wanted to throw that out there.
Let's get back.
Let's go.
All right. So is there a particular guilty food pleasure? Is there just something that you don't have often? Like you have ribs every weekend, but is there just something that you got to go out of your way to get? You got to hunt it down, takes a minute to cook, whatever. Is there anything like that in your arsenal, whatever?
It would probably be chicken fettuccine Alfredo.
Oh, I'm with you,
dude. It's
now. Do you make it yourself?
Sometimes.
All right.
Yeah, but it's one of those things where I kind of prefer just to go out and get, quite honestly, just because like it gives me a time off from cooking and I can still get a great meal. But man, it's just so damn good. You know, I love it.
All right. I think I know probably what the answer is, but what is your go-to drink? I left it on there. I left the question on my list just because I had to ask.
Look,
but
I'll show you right here. Look, let me get this up real quick. Right here.
Mango. All right, I'm with you, brother. That's good stuff.
So
very cool. Now we know that your Tito's is your sponsor, so you love them. They do good stuff. I love Tito's too. Say money's no object, and you're out at a fancy dinner having someone cook for you. What is there a drink that's a money no object drink?
I love a good Mexican martini. That would that is probably the one drink that if I'm anywhere and they have it or they make it and sell it, that's what I'm having. Mexican martinis. It's just so damn good, man. And
what is a Mexican martini?
It's got some. It's like a margarita. Some of the places, depending on where you're at, kind of make it a little different. So exactly what goes in it, I'm not 100% sure, but I know the places that I go to, it's different a little bit. So I'm not 100% sure what goes into them.
Next week's Wednesday cocktail hour on Cooking with CJ is going to be a Mexican martini. I will do some research for you.
There you go. Yeah, so, I know.
We got cocktail hour covered next week.
Yes, I mean, places around here do it different. So I'm not 100% sure, like all the ingredients that goes into them, but it's like a martini, but it's a combination between like a martini and a margarita.
Right.
So it's kind of limey, but it's still like a regular martini.
All right, cool. All right, I keep seeing people saying y'all click the thumbs up button on this there. So I'm gonna click the thumbs down. So if you click the thumbs down, fuck you. I appreciate you stopping by. And I'm going to ask Kristy's cooking channel. She had a second question. What is the best and worst thing you've ever cooked? And not necessarily on camera, just personally.
You know what? I had a feeling this question was going to come up. Quite honestly. Baby, what's the worst thing that I've cooked that you didn't like? Because if you didn't like it, I didn't like it.
Worst thing that you cooked?
Yeah.
When you were first starting out?
Anytime. Worst thing that I cooked.
No, when you first started brisket, it was.
Well, when I first started, yeah, it was brisket. That was the worst thing I cooked for quite a while.
There have been some where we've been like, well, yeah, I'm not gonna make that again.
Yeah, God, man, you kind of caught me off guard there. Even though I kind of had a feeling this question was going to come up. I don't know that I've like made something and thought, wow, I'm never making this again. It's just absolutely horrible.
there's recipes like rubs, like for ribs that you won't use again.
Yeah, but
I can't think of like a main dish.
yeah. Honestly, I really cannot think of.
Shark.
Oh, you don't like the shark?
You didn't
Yeah.
like the shark.
Oh,
Okay. I think it's gotta be cooked differently.
Yeah, so I did the Taco Tuesday not too long ago with it when I made the shark. I mean, I thought it was all right, but I don't know if I would do it again. Man, that's a tough one. I don't know that there's anything that I've made and thought, wow, I'm never making this again. The second half of that, like the best thing that I made?
The best thing or the worst thing?
Oh, the best thing, and actually, I just got a Facebook message today about it. And this is probably the one video I did where I'm still getting like a ton of comments on, and I think it was my let me pull it up. Hey dog, shut up, dog.
Shut up, dog.
You're drinking the water. It was a wait. Someone just commented here on it. It was a hey dog, shh. It was a chicken dish that I did with like mushrooms and like a fettuccine Alfredo sauce. Oh man, I'll have to look it up,
brother. This was not a stumping you question, man. So
it was stumping me, but this. Yeah, I'll find it here at some point or jump in and mention it. Because this is one video that I still get, like it's an older video, but I get tons of comments on Parmesan garlic mushroom chicken. And that stuff, like the sauce is so good, man. You can put that stuff on shoe leather and it would be amazing. And a lot of people actually recently have been making it and have been leaving me comments. Parmesan garlic mushroom chicken. Dude, I need to remake that because that was probably like the best thing I ever made. It was awesome.
All right.
Sorry, I had to look it up. Yeah.
All right, guys. Kent, you got anything on there, brother?
Yeah, I got a couple here. I just saw a comment from this little channel called Texas Style Barbecue and Cuisine, and one of the things he said was the worst he ever ate was those ribs on Tuesday. He said it didn't hold up to the sides, the potato salads and the beans. But
I'll tell you what, I had some of that potato salad last night. It was damn good.
All right. JP Barbecue wants to know, you say you cook ribs about every weekend. What do you prefer, baby back or St. Louis cut?
St. Louis, without a doubt. Yeah.
I got to agree there. Cooking with Rob D. wants to know, do you know how to make menudo?
No. That is one dish that I want to learn to tackle. That's one of those dishes that, like, you either can like make it really well or you can screw it up. You know, the tripe, you got to, make sure you cook it just perfect so it isn't too tough. It's not like super hard, but it's just one of those dishes that you got to get down just right. You can't just jump in there, cook it, and then it's going to come out great. You've got to really learn how to, and I think that this is a secret, how to cook that tripe just to the right temperature or just to the right texture, so it isn't too chewy. If you have menudo, and I absolutely love menudo, I can have it every day. But if you have it and that tripe is really tough, man, it will really ruin the dish for you. So that would probably.
Isn't that the hangover dish, noodle?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That
That's one of them.
Really well.
It's yeah. It's actually not necessarily the dish, but it's the spices, the spice in the dish. So, there are other dishes also that if you have like the spices, the spices are actually what seem to help with the hangover itself. It just goes, in menudo. So, that's probably like the most well-known hangover dish.
Okay. One last question. Kirby wants to know, how did you like that tri-tip?
Oh, I totally forgot to upload the video today. I have it uploaded, ready to go. I just totally forgot to set it, to go public because work was just really busy today. But it was really good. For the first time, I thought it was really good. I will say though that, being from Texas, brisket is our thing. So it's one of those dishes that are one of those meats that, for me, I think I got to kind of get used to a little bit, but I liked it. I think it turned out great. I think the flavor was great. I think it was cooked nicely. Saved a lot of it for the dog, so he got quite a bit of it. But for the first time, it was pretty good.
All right, and
so we'll probably release that video. If I don't do it tomorrow, it'll probably be next Tuesday.
All right, Hobo's saying if you can show the dog, he wants to see your dog. He has a fascination with dogs. So,
well, when he gets up and comes over here,
he blamed me for my dog who's out here with me. He goes, "Can't shut your dog up," and I'm like, "It's not my dog." So,
yeah, he's over there laying down now.
I put a post in the chat, CJ. If anybody has any more questions, ask them now. But for right now, that's all I got, brother.
Right on. All right, so here's another one of them longer questions you have to think about. All right, are you ready, Jim?
I hope.
3 channels, one big that you watch, one small that you watch, and one that you think should be bigger. Go.
So probably the big one that I watch is one that many of you guys watch. Troy. He's 103,000 subscribers. So in our realm of people that many of you might know, it would probably be Troy. There are a lot of other channels that I watch that I have absolutely nothing to do with cooking whatsoever. And it would be like night and day from cooking that I watch. Some are like fishing channels. Some are like First Amendment, Second Amendment channels. But one that many of you are one that's kind of related to us will obviously be Troy. One of the smaller channels that I watch is Red's Barbecue and Pizzeria. I love Brother Red, and quite honestly, that one and the last one, which is what one that I think should be bigger. Red and Josh and Babe, those 2 channels, I really do not understand how they aren't bigger than they are. I think Josh and Babe just, was it last night or Tuesday night, finally got over 300 subscribers. I don't remember exactly where Red is at, but those 2 channels to me, and I've been saying this about Red for a while, like this guy's going to blow up. And, he hasn't blown up yet, which is just like mind blowing to me. I think the content that he puts out is great. And the same thing goes for Josh and Babe. Both of those channels, I think are great. And I'm really surprised they aren't bigger than they are right now. And Josh and Babe, I was watching their videos like last week. Josh. He made a video of. He made a video like buying stuff for his wife for her.
The Fiverr thing.
Yeah, for her hairstyle business. And dude, I was literally laughing out loud at work. It was just hilarious. So those two channels are smaller channels that I watch and are also channels that I think should be a lot bigger than they are.
Right on. Well, come August 11th, we'll have Robert, Roy, so Marion, Josh, and Babe, and Kirby are coming to my house, and we're gonna do our own little SoCal meetup. So we're gonna be live streaming.
Oh, nice.
We're gonna need some cooks. I am eager to see Josh in action. That guy is a nut job, especially after a few scotches in him or whatever. Yeah, it's gonna be a good time.
Yeah.
So, Kris, if you're paying attention, will you do me a favor? Put the links for Josh and Babe and Red into the chat so people can go subscribe to them.
Yes. Go.
Let's help this. Let's help them grow a little bit. I totally agree about Josh and Babe. I've been following them since they had like 100 subscribers, whatever. Like I said, in our chat with them, he reminds me of my life. We're not caught, but like we're the same kind of Vegas-y kind of party guy. Have a good time. Our wives are short; they're 5'0". It's just and they're all like down to have a good time. So it's gonna be a good time when we're all together, and it's gonna. I can't wait. So
I found them when they were on the hot seat a few weeks ago.
Right on.
And man, I'm like, how did I not know about these people sooner? Right. So I think they got a really, really good thing going on. So.
For sure, definitely. All right, man. Let's ask Meathead's question if he's still in the chat. Who would be on your personal Mount Rushmore?
Ooh. I remember this question, and surprised I didn't take time to think about it. Like barbecue Mount Rushmore, or just a personal Mount Rushmore? Which one?
It could be whatever, dude. It could be cooking, personal, Troy, whatever. Justin, Harry, Sue.
One of them would be
Mom and Dad.
So like, one of my best friends passed away when we just turned 30, and he had been a friend of mine since we were in elementary, and he actually was the one that when we would hang out together, he was responsible for all the cooking. He would throw down on the grill. The dude could cook, and he was my best friend, and I would have to put him on up there. His name was Alvin, or Champ. I would have to put him up there. Man. So that would be one. Probably the two most influential people in my barbecue world. Obviously, one was Harry Sue, and the other one would be Mo Kason. And the third one, you know what? I'm gonna have to put my mama up there. So those four. Just to kind of go from a range of like friends to, or like personal life to barbecue life to like family, and just kind of mix it all up. I think those four would probably go up there.
Right. It's about who's most influential in your life, who you admire the most. So.
Oh, you know what? You're right. So you know what? I'm gonna remove Harry and Mo. I'm gonna put my best friend that passed away, my grandfather, who is I've always said that if I could be half the man that he is, then I'll be a hell of a man. So he has to go up there. my mother, and that fourth one. Man, that's a tough one.
Listen, man.
I don't know who that fourth one would be just yet.
But... me if you want, dude. It's fine.
All right, CJ. We're gonna throw CJ up there. He's gonna have to face the other way.
Yeah, I'll be the one facing out.
Well, you see like the back of his head. But I assure you that's him.
That's him. That's not the rock formation over there. That's him.
No, that fourth one, man, I don't know who it would be, quite honestly.
It's all right, man. All right, I saw something in the chat. Phil and Florence is here, and Red made a comment about his melons, and Phil has watermelons growing or something like that. Put it on Facebook, holding 2 melons in his head.
Yeah, I saw that.
Nice melons. Can we play with your melons? It's like, dude, that's horrible.
So there's one channel that I follow on YouTube, and it's like a prank channel, and they actually do a lot of that where like one guy will be standing there, and like women are walking towards him, and he's like, "Wow, those are nice melons," but his buddy is standing behind them, actually holding 2 melons. So the ladies are thinking that he's talking about them, and he just walks right past them, and he's talking to the guy behind them. Anyway, that just reminded me of that.
Yeah, that's true. Huh? I've seen that before. It made me die. So. All right. If you could cook with anybody in history, who would it be?
I'm gonna go with the Texas guy. He's down from South Texas. His name is Fred Robles. He's from Rio Grande Valley Meat Company. He's one of the top cooks in the state. He won the World Food Championship not too long ago. The dude he's one of the top cooks in the state, and he's someone that I look up to. And he's someone that I would love to cook with and just kind of pick his brain and just kind of learn from him. Just being someone that I look up to, down here in Texas. Him or Ernest Cervantes. Those two, they're really good buddies. Those two guys, Burnt Meat Company, who has been on Barbecue Pitmasters. Texas guys who I think I could learn a lot from are probably the ones that I would, give anything to cook with and just kind of learn from.
Right on. All right. I only have a couple more questions, so I'm going to let Kent wrap up the chat questions, and then we'll wrap this up. And we lost Kent.
Kent's gone.
I think Kent hung up on us. Oh, there he is.
Wait, there he's back. He's back.
All right, now hit the mute button, and there we go.
Damn fat fingers hit the wrong button. First thing, James, cooking with what you said with Big Mo Quezon. Good choice. I lived on the south side of Des Moines for 9 years. I've met Mo a couple times. I actually went to school with his cousin Marvin. So
I'm hoping he'll be in Lubbock. I'll be in Lubbock in a few weeks, and he normally does that cook off. And Harry Sue will be there, and so I'm hoping Mo is there, and I'll finally actually be able to get to meet him.
That's got to look like Mutt and Jeff with Big Mo and Harry. But.
Yeah.
All right. Soul Food Cooking wants to know the funniest video you've ever made. The funnest one to make.
Man, I don't know if there's a video that I've ever shot that was like, wow, that was the best. Or that was like the most fun. Well, you know what? I'm going to take it back. It's the one where we were at Justin's house with Harry Sue. To me, that was it was so much fun. It was so cool being like starstruck. Like that was a dream come true. That was one of those like once in a lifetime things where that just doesn't happen often. To have someone of his caliber there and willing to give you like all his secrets, didn't hold anything back. Excuse me. It was just, not only was it really cool, but it was a really, really fun weekend. A very memorable weekend. I'm going to have to go with that weekend.
Cool. Bottle Cap Barbecue wants to know, because he's thinking of getting one, what did you think of Troy's new Lone Star?
So, we cooked on it on Tuesday, and I I really dug it. I thought it cooked well. When I was cooking on it, I was looking at the pit, and it seemed to be really well insulated. There wasn't a lot of smoke, leaking out anywhere. It just seemed to be a really solid cooker. That was the first time ever cooking on one, and I thought it did a phenomenal job. Again, that was the first time ever using it, so I don't have a lot of experience with it. But cooking on it this past Tuesday, man, I was blown away. I want one personally. Yeah.
All right, we just got a couple more. Easy Bake Barbecue wants to know, have you ever used the Gateway rib hanger on your Weber Smoky Mountain?
No, I've actually been asked that quite a bit. I have not tried it. I'll probably buy the kit, somewhere here in the near future to try it out. But I haven't tried it yet, so I can't say a whole lot about it. But other than I do plan on getting one and trying it out and comparing it to like the pit barrel cooker that I have. But as of this point, I haven't used it yet.
All right.
Somebody dropped something.
I hit the booze cart behind me trying to sit up straight because people say I'm slouching.
I know.
All right. And my final question I have tonight, unless somebody puts one in here. Kris, Robert Roy wants to know your thoughts on outdoor flat top griddles.
Well, I've never cooked on one. However, I would be very interested in buying one and using one. I can see just from a lot of videos that are out there that's one of the things that's taken off. Even where I work at, the head of security, he just bought one, and we talk a lot about it, and he absolutely loves it. I would, and I know Robert has one. I would love to have one and use it. I don't have an opinion on it because I don't have one and I haven't cooked on it. But that is something that I would definitely buy, and I think that I would use quite a bit. It just seems really, really cool, and it seems to be like the hot thing right now. There's a lot of videos that I watch, people using it, and I think that's part of the reason Lau bought it. I mean, there was just people are doing very well doing video wise, making videos of the flat top griddle. People have been doing very well video wise, and I think that's part of the reason Lau actually went out and got one. But I would definitely be interested in purchasing one. But I've never cooked on one, so I don't have an opinion on it. But I would definitely use one without a doubt.
I actually have the exact same one that Robert Roy does. I have the 28-inch Blackstone. I got about a month or so ago, and I tell you what, I love it. It's handy.
Yeah.
It's handy.
Yeah.
I know Camp Chef has one out there too, and you have your different size ranges. But I tell you what, for us four, that 28 works perfect. So
yeah, I would definitely buy one and use it. And I will probably get one here in the near future. Yeah.
So.
All right. So you good, Kent?
Done.
All right, cool. And for all you guys saying I'm drunk out there, I am mildly buzzed. I am nowhere near Paris Hilton 2002. That's offensive, Kris. Anyway, but I have had a couple of big slushy drinks.
What was it? Brittany.
Brittany.
Or Brittany.
It's Brittany, bitch. All right.
Yeah.
Size doesn't matter. The
Don't go-
motion in the ocean. Fucking Kris and his hashtags are killing me tonight, dude. I love it. All right, so I've got 2 more questions, and then I'm gonna throw the link for the hangout into the chat, and then we'll whoever wants to jump on, feel free. You need to have Google Hangouts if you're gonna jump on, and that's it. So last 2 questions, my brother. What is one thing people don't know about you, and do you have any like special skills to go along with that one thing?
I have a very particular set of skills. I will find you.
At some point, he's just got to be known as a bad father. He keeps losing his daughter. I mean, just let him move on.
Yeah, or wife.
Or a wife.
What was the question again? I'm sorry.
You have any special skills, Liam?
Nothing special. Nothing that nothing that's gonna make me famous.
Nunchuck skills. I like
So,
someone said pre-shave Brittany. No, I'm shaved Brittany. All right. All right, guys. Last thing. Who would you like to see next on the hot seat?
Brother Troy hasn't been on. I would love to see him on.
Well, I have reached out to Brother Troy.
Yeah, I know.
He was not exactly open to that.
Yeah.
I have to if he wants to get on the hot seat, or if I want him on the hot seat, I have to fly to Austin.
Oh, that's right. He mentioned that.
I have to fly to Austin and make sure I get him on a Thursday. So,
you know what? I want to say Harry, and I'm going to talk to Harry.
All right.
And
up to Harry. I'll get him on here.
Yeah, we've actually are at a point where we can communicate regularly.
It'd be hilarious. I think it would be a 2-hour stream at least, because that boy looks like he likes to.
He does, and the thing about him is that while he's someone who's like really popular and famous, if you will, he's also extremely down to earth. He doesn't view himself either as better than anybody. He's just one of those guys that I think would actually want to come on here, would come on here and do well on here and not feel like he's too good for it. So I'll actually shoot him a message and mention it to him. Yeah. All
right. Before I wrap it up, do you have anything you want to say to the people out there, to the chat?
Just again, thank you guys, man. You may never know how much I truly, truly appreciate every single one of you, who follow me, who subscribe to my channel, who watch my videos. You may not never really understand how much I appreciate it, but I just want to tell you that I truly, truly, from the bottom of my heart, appreciate it. There is no me without you. And I'm just honored to do this journey with you guys. And just from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for all the support. You guys will, may never understand, how special you make this normal Texas boy feel. So, again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys for all the support. I truly appreciate it. And, please go out and support, all the other people in this chat, whether it's CJ or Kent or any other people in the chat. Let's support one another and help each other grow. There's plenty of room for all of us in this community. So, go and show as much love to everybody else as you have me. And again, just thank you for it. Thank you, CJ and Ken, for having me on. it truly is a pleasure and honor to to be on here and just kind of hang out with you guys. I'm just really looking forward to what the future brings. I think it'll be bright and be fun, and I want to bring all you guys along with me. So let's do this.
Right on, man. Well, I appreciate you coming on more than you know. Like I said, big fan for sure. And it's great to talk with you. I know we've been on many chats together and we've bullshitted and all that stuff, but it's great to have you on here, have a real good conversation with you. So, again, I really appreciate you. So thank you. And Kent, thank you for holding it down with the questions in the chat. Kris, thank you for the hashtags and making me laugh like crazy tonight. And I appreciate you a lot for coming back on. And, again, I appreciate you letting me take this over. And for all the love about the 1,000 subscribers that I just hit last night, thank you very much. I'm very excited about it. And I'm like Brother James, that I couldn't do it without you guys. We have a great community here, a great group of people. So next week, we have Scott from The Real Show BBQ on. So make sure you guys tune in. It's going to be the same time, 6 o'clock Pacific time, 9 o'clock Eastern time. Anybody in the middle, you guys get to figure that out. All right. I'm going to put the link to the Hangouts in the chat right now. So I'm going to end this broadcast. So again, thank you all for stopping by. Thank you for watching the hot seat with us and participating in the chat. All right. So see you next week.
See you guys.
Take care, all.